Leo soul, if something has been feeling off in your home lately, don't ignore it. A strange shift is taking place around you, and it's not just emotional or energetic. It's a direct sign from the universe that a portal to major luck is beginning to open for you. This is not just a coincidence. You were meant to be here, right now, hearing this. Your energy led you here. The questions in your heart brought you here. And if you felt even the slightest tension in your space, a chill in a room, a repeated dream, a conversation that unsettled you, then you've already sensed it. Something is happening in your home that defies logic. It could be a shift in atmosphere, a moment of silence that feels too loud, or even a message left unsaid by someone close to you. These are not just accidents. They are sacred signals. Because in spiritual truth, disruption is often the first language of transformation. And I'm here to help you decode it. This reading was channeled specifically for you. In the cards today, we received the Tower, Justice, and Ace of Pentacles, a trio that rarely shows up together unless the universe has something urgent and precious to say. What you'll discover in this message may explain why your energy has been off balance at home, and why the timing of this message is no accident. Leo, this is not about fear. This is about awareness. You are being called back into spiritual leadership, not just in the world, but in your own space. And that starts with understanding why the familiar now feels foreign, and why your intuition won't stay quiet. In Buddhism, we are taught that discomfort is often the first gift of awakening. And right now, your discomfort is a messenger. It's nudging you to look closer. To not just walk through your home, but to feel what it's saying. Every room holds memory. Every corner holds energy. And your soul is finally ready to clear what no longer aligns with your highest path. This is your space. Your vibration. Your right to choose what stays and what must go. You have the power not only to cleanse, but to reset your reality, starting with the foundation of where you rest, create, and love. And yes, what's on the other side of this shift? Big luck. True peace. Divine alignment. But you have to walk through this with courage. Before we dive deeper into the reading, let me take a moment to say this from the heart: thank you. Your presence here means everything. Every like, every comment, every share, every subscription helps build this sacred space we call eternal mindfulness. It allows us to continue delivering these transformative messages straight to your soul. And trust me, Leo, you'll want to stay until the very last second today. What's unfolding is nothing short of extraordinary. Now tell me in the comments what has been happening in your space lately. What signs have you felt but weren't sure how to interpret? I read every word. This is a space of confirmation, not judgment. Let's begin. There's something in your home calling for your attention, and it might just be your next miracle in disguise. When strange energy moves through the walls of your home, it doesn't always announce itself with thunder. Sometimes, it arrives like a whisper, the way a silence suddenly grows heavy in a room you used to feel safe in, or how the same object falls again and again, no matter where you place it. These aren't random. They're invitations. Disruptions like these, though uncomfortable, are often sacred doorways that call us to look deeper, not outward, but inward. And in the sacred language of the stars and the symbolic voice of the tarot, this is exactly what we see when the Tower, Justice, and the Ace of Pentacles align. The Tower is never subtle. It shakes the foundations, asks the unspoken questions, and breaks open anything built on illusion. When this card shows up in the context of your home, it's rarely about bricks and walls. It's about emotional structures, family roles, patterns held in place for years out of fear, habit, or guilt. Maybe it's a conversation that's never been had. Maybe it's tension that you keep brushing off because it feels easier to smile than speak the truth. But now, the universe is knocking. Loudly. Justice follows, not to punish, but to rebalance. If your home has felt unsettled, misunderstood, or even divided lately, this card brings the message that everything that's been out of alignment is starting to correct itself. But justice is not passive. It doesn't drift in like mystics precise. It asks you to name what you feel, to stop pretending it's not there. This isn't about confrontation, it's about clarity. Sometimes, what looks like conflict is really just clarity finally stepping into the room. And then, just when the energy feels too heavy, the Ace of Pentacles enters. Like a breath of fresh air, it reminds you that behind the storm is solid ground. This is the promise that all the disruption you're facing is not just necessary, it's fertile. It's creating the space for something real to grow, a financial opportunity, a renewed sense of safety, or even a relationship dynamic that feels grounded instead of forced. This card doesn't just speak of luck, it speaks of earned abundance, the kind that comes after you've faced what's hard and still chosen growth. In cosmic terms, your home is not just a place where you live, it's a reflection of your inner world. In astrology, the fourth house rules the home, family roots, and emotional security. When transits activate this house, especially with powerful planetary aspects or eclipse, it often brings to the surface things we've tried to keep buried. That's why a small argument can feel like an earthquake. That's why you might suddenly dream of your childhood kitchen or feel the need to rearrange your bedroom. The universe is asking you to shift not just your furniture, but your frequency. And through the lens of the law of attraction, this becomes even more crucial. The energy you carry in your space becomes the magnet for what flows into your life. If your home feels like a place of avoidance or walking on eggshells, that energy bleeds into how you manifest money, relationships, and peace. Clearing space physically and energetically is not just cleaning. It's declaring, I am ready for something new. There's an old teaching that says suffering is not punishment, it's the tension before a release. So if something feels off in your home, lean into it. Listen to it. What if that strange feeling isn't danger, but direction? What if the crack in the wall is where the light is meant to pour in? If you've had a strange dream lately, or something keeps happening in your house that you can't explain, I want to hear from you. Comment below and share it. Often, the signs that confuse us are the very ones that connect us. You're not alone in this. The moment you see it as a message, not a problem, you reclaim your power. This is your invitation. The disruption in your home isn't the end. It's the start of something astonishing. When the Queen of Wands appears in a reading tied to your home and inner world, it's not just a symbol of confidence or creative fire, it's a call to reclaim your space from everything that has dimmed your brilliance. If you've been accommodating others' comfort while slowly losing your own sense of safety or identity, this card arrives like a mirror and a torch. A mirror to reflect back how much you've been carrying, and a torch to light the way back to your center. In the context of your personal environment, the Queen of Wands represents your essence: bold, expressive, deeply intuitive, but often masked by politeness, tension, or emotional labor. She doesn't ask permission to shine. And yet so many times, especially within our own homes, we tone ourselves down for peace. We decorate to match expectations. We speak carefully to avoid upsetting dynamics. But what happens when the home no longer feels like a sanctuary, and instead becomes a performance stage for emotional survival? That's when your soul starts nudging you back to truth. Energetically, our homes are not separate from us. They are extensions of our psyche, physical manifestations of our inner state. Every object we keep, every space we ignore, every pile of clutter tells a story about what we value, what we fear, and what we're not yet ready to let go of. The Six of Wands in this reading confirms that a personal victory is already in motion, not because something external has changed, but because you're starting to come home to yourself. You're realizing that you don't need external validation to feel powerful in your space. You only need presence, honesty, and alignment with your own energy. Astrologically, this moment is deeply supported by the recent lunar transits through the 4th house, the domain of home, family, memory, and emotional roots. When the moon touches this space, buried feelings rise. We dream of people long gone. We remember rooms from childhood. We feel like rearranging furniture or cleaning out that drawer we've avoided. These aren't just impulses, they are responses to a deeper cycle of clearing. Like the body preparing for a breath, your soul is making space for something new. And that space starts within the walls you inhabit. The Chariot arrives as a sign that movement is not only possible, but essential. This card speaks to decisive direction, not rushed, not chaotic, but chosen. It reminds you that once you decide to reclaim control of your space, both energetically and emotionally, your external world follows. This isn't about throwing everything away. It's about asking, what truly supports me here? What belongs to an old version of me, and what nourishes the one I am becoming? Simple rituals hold powerful meaning. Journaling can become a doorway for emotional release, not just a mental activity. Saltwater cleansing, whether with a bowl near the door or a soak in the bath, helps neutralize emotional residue. Lighting jasmine or sweet orange incense isn't just about scent, but about tuning into solar energy, which resonates deeply with Leo's core essence. Even intentional breathwork, exhaling what no longer serves, inhaling clarity, can shift the atmosphere of a room. There's a quiet wisdom in understanding that the home isn't just where you live, it's what lives with you. The emotions, the memories, the tension and triumphs all coexist in that space. But the truth is, you get to decide what stays. You are not obligated to hold on to gifts that guilt gave you. You do not need to display objects that anchor you to past versions of yourself. And most of all, you are not required to dim your light just to keep the peace. So pause and look around. Is there anything in your space that feels heavy when you see it? An item that carries unresolved emotion? A room that doesn't feel like it belongs to you anymore? What would happen if you let it go? What if the act of releasing that one thing made space for something better? You're not alone in this reflection. If something in your home has been speaking to you, whether through discomfort or a sudden urge to change, I invite you to share it in the comments. Often, what you're holding is what someone else is waiting to name. And in naming it, you begin to free it. There's a kind of knowing that doesn't arrive with proof. It slips in quietly, like a shift in the air, like how a room suddenly feels heavier even though nothing has changed. And Leo, as someone ruled by the sun, you're not always praised for your sensitivity, but what many forget is that your fire doesn't only illuminate outward. It glows inward too. That subtle awareness you've been feeling, that quiet tug that something isn't quite right, it's not paranoia, it's perception. And the cards laid before us now, the High Priestess and the Moon, ask you not to push that knowing away, but to listen, fully and gently. The High Priestess does not speak loudly. She appears when truth is hidden beneath surface logic, when answers can't be found through reasoning alone. Her energy invites pause, not panic. And when she arrives beside the Moon, it creates a moment of sacred uncertainty. The Moon does not offer clarity in straight lines. It casts shadows. It softens the edges. It doesn't hide the truth, it simply reveals it through reflection, asking you to look not at the thing, but at its echo. What you see under moonlight is not always the full picture, but it's often the most honest version of what you're emotionally ready to see. When these two archetypes meet in a reading tied to your home life, your emotional landscape, or your energetic environment, they bring a message that may be quiet, but it is deeply urgent. Trust your gut. Trust what you've noticed but haven't named. Maybe you've sensed that someone is holding something back from you. Maybe a space in your home feels off, but you keep ignoring it. Maybe there's a pattern of avoidance, a drawer you won't open, a conversation you keep putting off, a sensation in your body that you explain away with stress or fatigue. But these nudges aren't to be dismissed. They are your own inner compass activating, reminding you that you were born with the ability to perceive more than what is said or shown. There is a reason the number 2 is associated with the High Priestess, and 18 with the Moon. Both carry the vibration of duality, of holding two truths at once. You can love someone and still need boundaries. You can feel safe in your house and still sense that something within it needs to be cleared. You can honor the peace while still confronting what disturbs it. That is the lesson here, not to choose between intuition and reality, but to allow them to coexist, to let your intuition inform how you respond to reality, not replace it. From a cosmic perspective, this is a deeply personal transit. Energies in the 4th astrological house, the house of home, roots, and inner security, are being activated. And when that happens, what we've buried tends to rise. You may find yourself remembering things from childhood, feeling nostalgic without explanation, or sensing echoes of your ancestors in the quiet corners of your home. These aren't just memories. They are messages. And like the moon rising in the night sky, they will not be ignored forever. It takes great courage to sit with the unknown without rushing to resolve it. But there is a kind of freedom that comes when we stop insisting on immediate clarity and instead choose presence. The law of attraction teaches us that our internal vibration determines our external reality. So when you honor the signal, even if you don't fully understand it yet, you begin to realign with the frequency of clarity, truth, and protection. The more you trust the first feeling, the more the universe confirms it with synchronicity. If there's a corner of your home that suddenly feels colder, or a person whose energy makes your heart race for reasons you can't explain, write it down. Don't analyze it yet. Just name it. There is healing in the naming. There is transformation in the honesty. And if you're willing to take that first step, not to fix, not to fight, but to notice then you've already begun the process of returning your power to where it belongs, in your hands. You are not meant to live in fear of what you sense. You are meant to grow into it, to learn from it, and eventually, to use it as a tool of deeper discernment and direction. So tell me, what are you feeling but haven't said aloud? What is your space trying to tell you? Leave a comment below. Sometimes the message becomes clearer the moment we stop hiding from it. There are moments when life subtly rearranges itself, not with chaos or collapse, but with a quiet nudge that says, "You're ready now." And if you've been sensing a soft pull toward change, not from fear or frustration, but from a deep, soul-level clarity, then this is your message. The presence of the Ace of Wands, the Fool, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Star in this part of your journey signals a breakthrough not born of pressure, but of permission. Permission to begin again. To release what weighs you down, even if you've carried it for so long it began to feel like part of you. The Ace of Wands is your inner fire reigniting after a long season of stillness. It's not just about starting something new. It's about returning to the place within you that creates not out of obligation or necessity, but out of alignment and inspiration. You may have felt burned out, unsure of your path, or emotionally distant from your own sense of joy. But this card reminds you that one spark is all it takes. Not everything has to be figured out before you move. Sometimes, moving is what brings the clarity. With the Fool, that spark becomes a leap, not careless, but courageous. This energy asks you to release the map and trust the step. Not because there are no risks, but because what waits on the other side is worth more than the certainty you're clinging to. Often, what holds us back isn't fear of failure, but fear of stepping out of the roles we've been assigned. Whether it's within the home, a relationship, or the expectations of others, the Fool offers you a reset, the chance to redefine who you are without the past narrating the script. Then the Wheel of Fortune arrives like a silent agreement between your soul and the universe. A turning point is here, not one imposed upon you, but one co-created by your willingness to respond differently. You're not at the mercy of fate. You're part of its unfolding. When you stop resisting the flow and start trusting the timing, what once felt like delays begin to feel like divine pacing. This is when unexpected opportunities arrive. A career pivot. A new home dynamic. A love that feels like peace, not performance. The wheel turns, and you are invited to turn with it. And then comes the Star, a reminder that healing isn't behind you. It's still happening. But so is hope. So is vision. This card appears when the heart begins to believe again, when you're ready not only to dream, but to receive. It's about stepping into the future without dragging all of yesterday with you. This is where your sense of purpose begins to reawaken. Where your choices feel more honest. Where your space, physical, emotional, and energetic, starts to reflect who you're becoming, not just who you've been. This is why simple acts matter now more than ever. Saying out loud each morning, "I choose freedom. I choose abundance," isn't just a mantra, it's a vibration you send into your home. It's a contract with yourself. Eating foods that resonate with solar energy, lemon, turmeric, carrots, golden honey, is more than nutrition. It's a physical invitation to embody lightness, clarity, vitality. Even sitting down to write out your vision of what home truly means to you, not the version shaped by history or obligation, but the one shaped by truth is a radical declaration of self-leadership. You don't have to change everything overnight. But one step taken from alignment carries the weight of 100 taken in resistance. And it starts now, not by chasing something far away, but by choosing to inhabit your life more fully. To inhabit your space with intention. To meet this new chapter with a heart that is soft, but no longer small. What would your ideal home feel like if it reflected your soul instead of your survival? What would be in it? Who would be welcomed there? What energies would fill the air? Write it out. Share it below if it resonates. Declaring what you want is not selfish, it's sacred. You've outgrown the energy of waiting for permission. You're not arriving at a new beginning. You are the new beginning. You don't need anyone's permission to begin again, dear Leo. You don't have to wait for someone to change, or for someone else to leave, or for everything around you to be perfectly in place. Sometimes, the most powerful transformation begins with a quiet whisper inside your own home, a whisper that says, "I'm ready now. I choose something different." That strange sensation you felt lately, that shift in energy, that subtle discomfort in a certain corner of your house, it's not random. It's not something to fear. It's a sign. A sacred signal. A quiet invitation from the universe to reclaim your space and, more importantly, your story. Every part of your home holds memory. Every object, every scent, every shadowed corner echoes something, a moment of joy, a long-held belief, a silence that became too loud. And when your space starts sending you messages, when things feel off, when you're drawn to certain rooms and repelled by others, that's your inner compass waking up. That's your soul asking you to pay attention. Because clearing your physical space is never just about the dust, it's about the energy you've allowed to settle there. And that energy is always within your power to shift. The truth is, strange energy doesn't arrive to scare you, it arrives to prepare you. Something big is coming. Something lucky. But for it to land fully in your life, the space around you and the space within you must be open enough to receive it. That's why your intuition has been so active lately. That's why you're being nudged to look closer at what you've been avoiding. Whether it's a drawer you haven't touched in years, a thought you've silenced, or a part of yourself you've tried to ignore, now is the time to face it gently, but truthfully. So today, I invite you to take one simple, sacred step. Choose a corner of your home you've been avoiding and tend to it. Not to perfect it, but to honor it. Let your cleaning be a ritual. Let your journaling be a release. Let your breath, long, slow, conscious, remind your nervous system that you are safe, and you are sovereign. And then, write down one truth you've been carrying but haven't spoken. One feeling. One dream. One desire. Write it without judgment, without apology. Because the moment you name it, you begin to shift it. And when you do, remember this, you are not just tidying your house. You are redesigning your destiny. You are showing the universe that you're ready to be more than just a keeper of space, you're ready to be a creator of it. You are the flame that redefines what home means. You are the light that transforms what was once heavy into something holy. So, what's the one energy you're ready to clear from your home this month? What blessing would you like your space to attract? I'd love to hear in the comments, not just as a guide, but as someone walking this path with you. Because healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in shared light. And if this message stirred something in you, if your heart recognized something true in these words, then please, take a moment to comment, to like, and to subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness. That simple act keeps our circle strong and our light expanding. You are not alone in this. The shift has already begun in your home, your heart, your future. They're all listening.